a world where Big Brother web shows dominate the interwebs, each show trying to bring you the next best thing, Nick and Rachel are here to entertain you with all things Big Brother, game talk, competition, backstabs, and the unexpected. Embark on this journey as we bring you the most unfiltered web show you've ever seen. We want the fans to voice their opinions. We want to hear what you have to say. Agree to disagree. We're the Unfiltered Feedsters, coming to you live Fridays at 8, so you better subscribe.
Hey yo, Rachality, Big Brother season's back. You gotta tell them what we've been up to.
Hey yo, like BB Nick Robobot. Let's tell them about our new web show, The Unfiltered Feedsters.
What you know about us? What you know about us? What you know about us? What you know? We're the Unfiltered Feedsters coming to you live Fridays at 8, so you better subscribe.
What you know about us? What you know about us? What you know about us? What you know? We're the Unfiltered Feedsters coming to you live Fridays at 8, so you better subscribe.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Unfiltered Feedsters. I'm your co-host Nick.
And I'm your co-host Rachel.
Now listen guys, the house this week was filled with a lot of pussies. Austin, Vanessa, Julia, Liz, and Sir Steven. Now Clay, we know you try to save your hot tamale. And your ass got evicted this week. So as you're leaving the Big Brother house and going to fuck a lot of women, your ass better wrap it the fuck up. And for Vanessa, your ass is toast this week. Boom. Shit just got real.
That was great. That was great. We literally just came up with that in the last 5 minutes.
It's fucking great.
Nick had all of this in his bedroom. Or not in his bedroom, but in his house.
Except these. I grabbed these from downstairs.
Oh my gosh. That was great. Okay, that was great.
Awesome. Can we just take a second, guys? What an amazing fucking week this week. We had a fucking power shift. One of the biggest fucking couples in the house got evicted this week. Honestly, we wanted Shelly out, but you know what? We'll take what we can get. We'll take Clay because even though one's gone, the other one can't live on with you. It's like fucking Titanic and shit. Jack just drowned in the fucking ocean. He froze and died and shit, and now she's fucking crying great. Awesome.
Pretty much. So last Thursday we had a wall competition which people have been begging for, and we finally got it. And James, of course, is the winner. He did really well. He had a crouching position that he went into that worked really well for him. He was just overall good at the comp. And at the end, it was him, Shelly, and Johnny Mac. And Shelly starts making a deal with James. He's like, or she says to him, you know, keep me and Clay off the block. Don't nominate us, no Backdoor or Johnny Mac. And James is like, I promise, you know, that's a deal, blah, blah, blah. And so she falls off, and James is your HOH. He gets up to the HOH room, and he immediately goes, I don't give a fuck about that deal. I don't give a fuck. And I'm like, thank you. Yeah. This is going to be a hell of a week. So going into Sunday's episode, they had the noms, which was Clay and Shelly. No Backdoor. James didn't go through the back door. He put their asses straight up, and that's the way to go. That is the way to do things.
That was fucking amazing, especially the conversation between him and Meg going, fuck this shit, we're putting them up.
Oh, yeah.
So
that was
great.
The best part about it all.
Leading into the veto comp, we had our players. It was James, Clay, Shelly, Vanessa, Jackie, and Becky. Honestly, we couldn't have had a better lineup to play in this competition. Even though this week we were so a little weary about Becky and where her allegiance lied and stuff like that, it's coming, people. We gonna get there. Clay had won a trip to Ireland. Shelly won 2,400 swords routine. If you guys didn't see that yet, there's some videos up on Unfiltered Feedsters Twitter page, so just go through there and look. Vanessa won a buffer where she had to buff Jackie's unitard outfit. Jackie's a knight, and every time they were like, shine the armor, she had to shine it, and it was like 20, 30, 45 minutes she had to do this for. Fucking hysterical. and Becky won $5,000, and James took home the POV. He did absolutely amazing in this competition. He was hitting high numbers every time. They were on a little tourney thing. They had to shoot off a little, like, I don't know, Rachel, what would you call it? Like a little, like,
I honestly have no idea.
I'm gonna say like let's say a big dart, and they had to hit the board, and there was numbers all over the floor. It looked like a map out of a kingdom, and he just kept hitting high numbers every time. It was absolutely amazing. And towards the end, when you rewatch it, because I like to rewatch the competitions a couple of times to see like what happened. At the end, it definitely looks like Becky just threw the competition to James.
Yeah, it definitely does look like that.
It was just like you see everybody has a glimmer of hope in their eyes, and then you just see Becky go, "Oop, well, I guess it didn't make it on the board." James, you're the new POV holder. Going into, I'm sorry, as they had their veto ceremony. Every week I do this, Rachel. I just skip right into the HOH. I'm just like, fuck the veto ceremony. We had the veto ceremony. This is the first time this season that the veto has not been used. Shelly and Clay remained on the block, and it was actually a beautiful little moment in history. Thank you, BB gods. Finally, thank you.
Oh, and yeah. That was one of the best moments.
It was like my favorite thing. I'm just like, yes. And then, like Clay's like hot at the mouth, and he always like wants to sound off and say shit or whatever. Even when he was put on the block to being, the veto not being used, like you could just see he's just like being smug about it. That moves into Thursday's eviction. Clay was evicted 9-0 out of the house. Honestly, he won one veto. I mean, what did he bring other than like he could be a good, like he was a good like social gamer? He really was. In the aspects of somebody to be evicted out of the house, these assholes should have evicted Shelly because she did.
That's the thing. Like Austin and the twins and Vanessa wanted to keep Shelly because Vanessa and Shelly are working together. Vanessa does not like Clay.
Nope.
So if Clay gets evicted, Vanessa has Shelly all to her own, or so she thinks. So she gets Austin and the twins on board because they're like, this is what's best for our Sixth Sense alliance. And then obviously Steve follows Vanessa around like a little puppy dog. So at that point, James did not have the votes. There was nothing James could do. People are like, well, James lost his HOH because he got out Clay. No, Vanessa, Shelly, and Clay were a three-headed monster that needed to go. Those three have won more competitions than Austin and the twins have won. So one of those three needed to go. Yes, I would have loved for it to be Shelly, but it wasn't. It was Clay. Oh, well. It doesn't matter.
One of them was evicted, and that's the point blank end, the period.
Exactly. That's all that matters. Anyway, moving on to this week's HOH. Spoilers, people. If you don't want to hear this, turn it off.
It's spoilers, okay? Moving on, we had it came down to it, but we had predicted that it was going to be the slip and slide this week. Everybody played, except James. It came down to Becky. It was Becky, Julia, I believe Jackie, and Shelly were in the lead. Honestly, Becky fucking killed this competition. Watching the live feeds, we were tweeting out last night. You really didn't have a great camera angle on everybody's tank that they were filling up. And it was like kind of annoying because it was like, oh, well, we can't really see what's going on until they did like a weird view, but still you couldn't see what was happening. We had more focus on Julia, Becky, and Jackie and Johnny Max. And the whole time, Becky fucking killed the competition. It was Julia in first for a while, and Becky picked it up and she fucking killed it. She was ahead of Julia by like 3 or 4 lines.
Oh yeah, Becky, like, and that was the thing in this competition. It was different from others. Usually, like in other comps, they would have it where it was an HOH bucket or like another smaller bucket that you could win like $5,000 or whatever. Well, this year they had 3 balls in the big bucket, and you could win all 3 prizes. So Becky filled her bowl all the way up, got all 3 balls out, won a have not pass where she's never going to be a have not again in the whole season, and she won $5,000, and then she won the HOH. So she got all 3 prizes in the HOH, which is crazy.
Oh, sorry, Rachel. And everybody was telling her, go for the prizes, get them. Like, everybody was so supportive and they were cheering on. Like, this summer and this season is like one of the first actual seasons that everybody does cheer on for each other. And when it comes down to people winning money, nobody's bitter or sad over it. And they're not using that as an excuse to get them out of the house. Even though that's a great leeway to put somebody on the block and be like, well, they won $5,000, get them out. You know, I just think it's very interesting this season.
Yeah, they're definitely not like using the money against them. They might later on in the season, because so far it's been like one side throwing darts at one side and the other side throwing darts at the other side. They haven't needed that excuse as, oh, you've won $5,000, because they've had bigger excuses and other excuses to put people up with.
Exactly.
So they haven't really needed it, and they could use it later on down the line.
It's definitely a bargaining tool. Correct me if I'm wrong. This Becky winning this HOH definitely ensures that there has not really been anybody other in the HOH than people that have won in the past.
Yes, Becky won. Although Becky's HOH, she had for 6 hours, because it was the one where they did the speed up week for 4th of July.
Yeah.
So technically Becky is a new HOH. She only did spend 6 hours up there, but she's also technically not a new HOH. So,
but we haven't had any fresh blood in this HOH. The same people have been controlling, even though Becky, like Rachel said, has only
not the same sides. The same people have been winning,
same,
but different sides.
Exactly. And this week we are looking at still a power shift. And Rachel, should we go in with nominations that happened today?
Sure.
Might as well lay it all out there for you.
Once again, spoilers, people. Becky nominated Shelly and Steve. Neither of them are the target. Vanessa's the backdoor target. The only people that know this are Johnny Mac, James, Jackie, Meg, and Shelly. And a lot of people were up in arms about Becky telling Shelly. But if she didn't tell Shelly, Shelly would have thought Shelly was the target. So she's telling Shelly, and Shelly knows that Vanessa knows Shelly was going up, and Vanessa did not tell Shelly that. So the fact that Vanessa didn't tell Shelly she was going up, and Shelly knows Vanessa knew, Vanessa doesn't trust Shelly. Vanessa hasn't trusted Shelly since, or Shelly hasn't trusted Vanessa since Vanessa went at Clay yesterday. So.
And again, spoiler alert, there was a huge fight yesterday, and it was between Clay, James, and Vanessa. And
we will get into that later.
We'll get into that later, but we're going to fill you in. Just stay tuned. It's just been so crazy having a wonderful week of a power shift, now having a second week of power shift. We're just like, blah, 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 just like that. And just to let you guys know, we're about to get into some more game talk. Down below in the comments, it's a live chat. We can see. We're going to acknowledge you guys. Talk with us. Let us know how you feel, who you want to get evicted, who you want on the block, this and that. Let us know. And we're going to interact with you guys. So getting into
also, you can tweet us too. If you can't, for some reason, comment below. You can tweet us at Unfiltered Feeds.
Exactly. Correcto mundo.
So, after Becky won the HOH and she got her room, everybody, or not Becky, after James won the HOH and got his room, everybody pretty much went downstairs, and it was James, Meg, Jackie, and Becky up there in the HOH. And they were discussing what they were going to do. Their first discussion, they were going to put up Austin and Liz and backdoor Shelly or Clay. Well, they discussed that for a little while. They determined that was the best option. So Becky runs downstairs and tells Shelly and Clay this. So everyone's like, Becky's the rat now. Becky's the rat. And she was ratting. And so it was kind of aggravating. And because we obviously wanted the blonde side. But after she told them that was the first and last thing she did to rat. She did not rat on them anymore after that. And they had another discussion and they determined that it was Liz and Vanessa going up and Shelly, Clay backdoor. Well, it was like 7 a.m. on the morning of nominations. Meg and Becky got called to the DR, so they're getting ready. I had just went to sleep. Nick was already asleep. And it's like 7 o'clock on the East Coast. They're getting ready for DR. James comes downstairs. And he's like, I think I made up my mind on what I'm going to do. I'm just going to throw both of their asses up on the block. And he's like, that's the best way to ensure that at least one of them will for sure go home. And so they were like, yep, that's the conclusion that we came to. Jackie woke up. They told Jackie. Becky came out of the DR. They told Becky. Becky did not go and tell Shelly and Clay. Even though she had the opportunity to do so, she still did not, which was really good. And that was pretty much like the whole gist of before noms. He did tell Austin, Liz, Julia, and Johnny Mac before the nominations, like a few hours. Vanessa said he pretty much insinuated to Vanessa. Vanessa said she didn't want to know because she didn't want to get stuck between a rock and a hard place. So after the nomination ceremony happened, Nick, do you want to explain what happened with that?
I just want to touch on real quick with the whole Becky not running back and saying anything. I know that that she has been labeled a rat and she was running around telling the other side of the house what's going on. I definitely think that it showed her allegiance to them, that she wasn't going to run back and say anything. And she had like, oh, well, I know something is going on now. She has like information from both sides and she knows who to work with.
Well, the thing about that is, her and Johnny Mac had a discussion, and she said, Shelly and Clay are using me for information, and I'm going to work with James, Jackie, and Meg. She told Johnny Mac that 2 days. I want to say it was Tuesday. I believe it was Tuesday she told him that. And so from that point on, she has done nothing. Even after she ratted the first time, she's done absolutely nothing to insinuate herself as a rat. She did it one time. She realized they were using her for information. She realizes that she fucked up, and so she decided not to roll with that anymore, and she decided to say who she was really rolling with. And this week has proved it.
I can't agree anymore. Moving on to after the veto. Game talk last week was very slim to none because of all of the punishments that were going on.
Well, the first 24 hours after game talk, or after veto.
Yeah, well, going into that, it was more so of them not really being able to talk. They had to complete those punishments, and nobody had a chance. Vanessa was with Jackie, which, can we just take a second and realize how fucking amazing that was? That Vanessa could not go around the house and talk shit and games talk for 24 hours. I said to Rachel, I said, you know, it would be really funny if they got a punishment and Jackie and Vanessa were chained together or something. I said, how funny would that be? And then it happened. I just was like literally on my highest horse. That
was so, like, that was great. Like watching them walk around the house, everything Jackie had to do, Vanessa had to do. So like they didn't even show the half of it on the show.
No, it was definitely every like 10 minutes, Vanessa having to shine Jackie's armor. Vanessa had to sleep on the floor. Jackie got to sleep in a bed. There one point on the feeds when I was watching, Vanessa's sitting there and she has to pee so bad, but she didn't want to wake Jackie up. And then she's saying, and Megan's like, what's going on? And then Vanessa's like, I have to pee. And then she's like, just wake Jackie up. I don't want to wake her up. She's sleeping. And you just see her like sitting there like struggling, and she's tired and she's fucking pissed off at production because every 5 seconds they're telling her to shine the armor. We had Shelly had to do 2,400 like obstacle things. She had to use her sword and she had to hit targets and knock down like this long stick and pick it back up, and she had to just go around in a triangle and continue to do that for 24 hours. And if she didn't do that and didn't hit it within 24 hours, she wasn't able to play next week's veto.
Or if one of the obstacles broke, she couldn't play in next week's veto.
Also, that's true. And didn't one of them, Rachel was telling me that one of the obstacles did break and they had to do like a replacement or something like that?
Yeah, the pole, because whenever you had to hit it down to the ground, it was up on these 2 pegs. And so when you hit it, it would crack a little bit where the pole was sitting on the peg. And so after doing that, I think it was like just over 1,000 times the pole broke. And production came over, feeds were off for like 20 minutes, and they brought her a new pole after the second time that had happened. First time they band-aided it, and that didn't work, so it broke again, and they brought her a new pole in, which wasn't her fault, so I can understand why they didn't say you failed because of that.
It's just completely understandable.
Yeah.
It is.
For sure.
For sure. Or, Rachel, what kind of shirt are you wearing? I always think that when I say for sure
I'm
now.
wearing a blue shirt.
Shirt.
If you don't watch the feeds, they make fun of production because they're like, please clip your microphone to your shirt. And so Meg started making fun of them because she says that she can say it like them. And so now everybody just does it. It's pretty
It's really funny. Jackie does have to wear her knight in shining armor all week, and it's been hilarious watching her game talk in it, strutting around the house in it, and when she's being completely serious and telling somebody they can fuck off or they can eat shit, and you just see her wearing this costume. I can't take her seriously. I love her to death.
You really can't take her serious in that costume.
No, really. I'm gonna miss it though after this week.
I know it's gonna take like another week for us to get used to her wearing like normal clothes again.
I kind of feel like she's gonna wear like the cape though. Still, she's gonna be like super Jackie, or she's gonna
I
go
could see
super bitch. It was really
so. After the punishments were over, Shelly and Clay, it was like I want to say probably like 10 in the morning, and they were sitting outside. They were the only ones up, and they were determining what they were going to say to James to get one of them off the block. And by this time, it was Sunday, and the POV ceremony is Monday. So they had 24 hours to come up with something. So after it finished, they went up after she finished her punishments because she couldn't go inside unless it was to ring the bell while she was doing her punishment. She had to sleep outside and everything. So while she is, or after she finishes her punishments, she goes up to James, her and Clay do, and they're like, I think you need to take out a floater. If you keep us safe, we will be fighting for you. We're the ones that are gonna, Jackie and Meg can't fight for you. They're not good in competitions. Like, they were basically like selling their souls to stay in the game and get him to use the veto on Steve. And they saw that shit was not gonna happen. Not in the slightest. James pretty much told them. Oh, and the best part was they approached Meg. They wanted Meg to go get James, and Meg and James go upstairs so that they all four can talk. So they pretty much put a target on Meg's back by saying, you're automatically with James in this conversation, which is good because now they have James and Meg to say, look, this is exactly what you said up there. So that was what had happened. And then after they realized that didn't work, they were pretty much like dead in the waters, and Meg and James were talking, and Meg's like, look, we need to milk this for as much information as we can get. And so Clelly is in bed, and Meg goes up there, and they're like, look, James has a lot of question marks right now. If you're ever going to get him to use it, right now is going to be the time. He is going to use the veto if you give him the right information right now. They decide to go and spill the beans about Austin. They throw Austin under the bus, under the tires, in the engine. They throw him everywhere. Like they just
flat on Hollywood Boulevard against the back wall.
Yeah. They literally just like laid his whole game out there for James and Meg. At first it was James. So James tells Shelly, because Shelly was having a hard time. She was like, I really don't want to do this. I really don't want to, like, this isn't who I am. And James looks at her and goes, am I going to be able to put up a replacement nom after you tell me this? And she's like, yeah. And James is like, okay, tell me. So they tell him, and he's like, well, this is really good information. I wish you just would have told me this before, and I wouldn't have had to put y'all up. And so he goes and gets Meg and Jackie out of bed, and Jackie's like, you're HOH, do whatever the hell you want. We'll go with it. And so he's like, no, I really need you up. So they get up, they go into the HOH, and they clearly retells the story to Meg and Jackie. And Jackie's sitting there like, this bitch can shut the fuck up and die in a hole already. Like, her face was just everything. She was not having it.
Jackie is not playing. Like, we've been sleeping on Jackie like the whole entire game. The last 2.5, 3 weeks, she has come out and been like, fuck you, eat shit. I'm not fucking with you.
Yeah, she was just like, I'm not having it. So Jackie was like, Jackie kind of went at them in a way. I don't really remember what everything was said. It's been a crazy week, but they ended up, James ended up kicking Clelly out of the HOH, and Jackie, and Meg decided to talk about the noms. they go back and forth. They're like, well, do we want to take Clay down so he can't save himself and have to send out Shelly and put up like Liz or Austin or Vanessa, or, you know, they were just going through every possible scenario. And Jackie says one of them three has to go. Clay, Shelly, or Vanessa has to go. They cannot, like, we cannot get out of this week without one of them going. So they decided to keep the noms the same. And I think it was a good decision. A lot of people were saying, you know, we need to put up Vanessa, put up Vanessa, put up Vanessa. But honestly, it would have just ruffled more feathers, and then Vanessa would have stayed, and then Vanessa would have been, like, coming after James. Full force.
It would have definitely been a messy situation if they would have had thrown her up there and tried to get her out. One thing I want to touch on is just to clue the fans in a little bit more with, like, Shelly and Clay going upstairs. When Rachel and I were watching this whole thing unfold, Shelly and Clay did the worst job they can do to try to sell themselves to stay. They literally had, like, no information to back themselves up. The way that they, like, presented the situation and the way that they were acting during the whole thing, James is just in there like, what do you have? And they're just looking like, I'm just like, seriously, is this happening?
I do want to point out, too, that when Jackie and Meg came up, James looks at Shelly and goes, okay, I'll let you take the floor because Clay never talks. And Shelly's like, so you're saying I talk all the time? Clay talks too. And James is like, fine then. Whoever wants to talk can talk. And the best part about this whole thing was when Clelly and James started talking, James had said something about Shelly being afraid of Jackie, and she laughed so loud. It was like a sarcastic laugh. She's like, you think I'm afraid of Jackie? And then she goes to James. She's like, I need to hear who that came from before I give you any information. And James is like, I honestly don't know where that came from. And so when Jackie came up, she's like, Clay mentions to Shelly that about the whole being scared of her thing. And Shelly's like, oh yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm not scared of you. And Jackie's like, okay, well, like they knew that they were lying because Shelly had said it to Meg. So right off the bat, they knew she was lying about that. So it was just, Jackie was like, she pretty much, that's why she had the I don't give a fuck look, because she knew that Shelly and Clay were lying right off the bat.
She's completely over their bullshit. She just, like, smells it. She's like,
can these people get on somewhere already?
It's literally, it's one of the funniest things. If you guys have not bought your feeds, you seriously need to go buy them. The link is in the description, because just to see Jackie's, like, reaction to people, it's like, I feel like we actually have somebody that's like a Brittany Haynes in the house. It's just, she's on that level for me. And we've been sleeping on her the entire game. It's absolutely she's one of my favorite people so far. And that's a lot for me to say that.
Yeah, she's definitely, she came, whenever Jeff got evicted, she came out of her shell. Like, she was not having it anymore. She was like, these people, I cannot roll with some of these motherfuckers, and they gots to go. And she's been peeping shit in and out. Like, she knows who's with who. Like, she knows shit. So we've definitely been sleeping on her for sure.
Just to hit some of the YouTube comments. Hey, everybody, we see you in there. We're going to give you some shout outs soon. Jen had finally made it, our first Super Extended week. She said, if James wanted Shelly gone, they should have taken Clay down and put Liz up.
I'm sitting here like, why can't I see any of these? Like, are people just not commenting? And then I realized I can't see them. What did she say again? Because I obviously can't see the comments.
It says, Jen said, if James wanted Shelly gone, they should have taken Clay down and put Liz up.
Put Liz up. Yes. I could see that, but also he was like not trying to, once again, I know this sounds like a pussy move, but he was not trying to ruffle feathers. At the end of the day, it could have been double eviction, and his ass could have went home right after. Granted, he would have been going to jury, but still, they didn't know that for sure. And so I really think that he made the best move for his game at the time. And now that Becky's won HOH, it obviously didn't come back to bite him in the ass. But I definitely think he should have done that. But you also have to remember, we see every single conversation that happens on the feeds. We see it. If we don't see it, we hear about it. These people in the house, this is a topic that I wanted to touch on because a lot of people don't get this. These people in the house, they do not see this. They don't see certain people running in rooms together. They don't see certain people, like they just can't, they can't see everything. And if they were to like park themselves somewhere and watch everything that happens, they would be going right out the door the first week because everybody would realize that these people are scampering around the house. So they cannot physically see with their own eyes every single conversation that happens. So we have to realize it is easy for our fat asses to be sitting on the couch and say, oh, well, James should have did this or James should have did this. By the way, I'm calling me a Nick fat asses, not any of y'all out there. So it's easy for us to sit here and say, James should have put up Liz because this, and this, but he doesn't see this. He doesn't see all the conversations that are happening. He doesn't know Vanessa and Oz twins are trying to save Shelly. He can't see this. So I'm sure if he would have known all this information, he probably would have thrown Liz up there. But the fact of the matter is, everybody in the house only sees what they can. We see everything that happens on the feeds. So when people come in our mentions saying this person needs to do this, this is exactly what I'm going to tell them. So I'm just going to get it out of the way now.
Preach it.
Like, I understand it's your opinion. It's my opinion too. But these people cannot see everything that happens in the house. And I'm just leave it at that.
It's the truth. It's the truth. Rach, I'm echoing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird. Well, I have no headphones up here.
Well, see, try lowering your volume down a little bit. I think it's fixed.
Okay. All right. Can you hear yourself now?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. It was weird.
That was really weird.
It's Katie Cat. Do you guys know if someone tipped Vanessa off of being the backdoor this week, or did her paranoid ass just figure it out on her own?
Okay, I want to answer this question because it's my favorite question. One, her paranoid ass figured it out, even though she doesn't really like know 150%. It's her being paranoid. She's going around and telling everybody, I'm the backdoor target. I'm the backdoor target. The only people that know are Shelly, Jackie, James, Meg, Becky, Johnny Mac. I read somewhere earlier that Johnny Mac hinted at Steve, but I don't think Steve is going to tell her, even if he knows, because his ass is on the block. Him and Shelly will not tell her because their ass is on the block, and if they tell her, they're right out the fucking door.
And it blows their game up. And I honestly don't think anybody's going to spill a word of it. And then this is going to make an interesting rest of the week when she's put up on Let's Hope. Everybody pray to the BB gods with us. To Jacasta's candle, pray that she goes up on the block. Because if she goes up on the block, shit is going to be turned up this week. She's going to take everything and multiply her manipulation by the gods of fucking thunder and lightning, and she's going to scorn bitches in that house. It's going to be real. It's going to be fucking scary. Oh my God, I can't wait for it.
It's going to be something else. That is for sure. Because Vanessa, like, since she already knows or has an inkling that she's going up on the block, she's already paranoid as a motherfucker.
Oh,
so she is like, not like, no one's going to tell her, like, we're going to vote for you. We're going to vote to keep you. Like, she doesn't have the votes, first off, people. Let's get this straight. It is an 8-person vote this week, and Becky breaks the tie. Johnny Mac already can't stand her because she came at Johnny Mac this week. James, Jackie, and Meg, they really want her out. That's 4 votes. Becky breaks the tie. Hate to break it to you, people, but her ass is going if she goes up on the block.
Exactly.
If she's on that block come Monday morning, her ass is out the fucking door.
Bye. Another thing I want to touch on.
I would bet my stipend on it.
She'll bet her stipend on it. She'll swallow her tongue.
I don't have.
She'll swallow her tongue. Pull it, Jason. Another thing I want to touch on is a lot of people like were in our mentions this week and just seeing it all over Twitter going, James is on a power trip. Oh, he has so much power. He's on a power trip, blah, blah, blah. I want to like just let's all come down to this level. Let's meet good. We're here. James was not on a power trip this week. James had to do what James had to do to make sure that his whole alliance and himself had safety. He went out. He won that HOH. He stayed on that fucking wall. He could have stayed on there all fucking night. He wanted to make sure there was safety. And then on top of it, he won Power of Veto. He was going to take any punishment he had to win the Power of Veto. He would have done anything. And the fact that he turned around and he hit it out of the park to ensure his alliance's safety says a lot about him. There was no power trip. They're fucking sick of being the underdogs and being picked off one by one. So nowhere at all was there a power trip. There was a power shift, and they took over power.
I think people are just getting their words wrong.
I don't know. It's just like I was seeing this a lot all week, even just on Twitter itself. And I'm just like, this dude does not have like a power trip right now. He's not going crazy because he has the power. He did what he had to do to win safety. And he's doing what he has to do, targeting a 3-headed monster, which he did. And bye-bye, Clay, you're out of the house. Which leaves 2, and one of them is Ensure to leave this week.
Yep, pretty much. I want to touch on some YouTube comments. I've only got it put up on my computer. Jackie Meg cracking on Van in the Have Not room today has been funny from Jen. Oh my gosh, it was great. And Becky, when she gets on a roll, she is just as funny. She talks a lot, but she is fucking hilarious.
I definitely seen that last time during the HOH competition. I was saying
someone Aunt Morai, I don't know how to pronounce your name, sorry, but she said Mean Girls are not funny. Sorry to most of us. If you're calling Jackie, Meg, and Becky Mean Girls, I hate to break it to you, but the shit that Shelly and the twins and Vanessa have pulled, that is what you call Mean Girls. I think it was Liz and Austin went into the cabana room when Jason got put up on the block and called him like the spawn of Satan or some shit like that. Those 3, Jackie, Meg, and Vanessa, or not Vanessa, Becky, were talking about how Vanessa like freaks out and cries over everything. They weren't sitting here talking about her as a human being. They were talking about her in the game. So I don't consider that Mean Girls. If you do, I'm sorry that it offends you maybe. I'm not really sure. But, I mean, I don't really see it. It's quite comical to me. Especially if you are someone that has watched the feeds as much as me and Nick. And we have to deal with Vanessa and Shelly parking their ass up in the HOH room for 4 fucking weeks. We had to deal with that shit. And at one point, I had to stop tweeting because I was so aggravated with everything and how everything was happening that it was like it was upsetting me as a person. So it gets aggravating. So now that there's a power shift, I don't really give a fuck what anybody says anymore. It's like you make fun of that person, you make fun of that person. I don't give a shit anymore.
I also want to touch on another comment on Moria, the one that you were just reading from. She said, Vanessa is a poker player. She can read people better than anyone in the house. I do absolutely 100% agree about that. I've said it from day one. Vanessa is an amazing Big Brother player, and she definitely can read people. She knows what to do in the drop of a dime of a hat. She gives game plans out left and right, who's buying them, who's selling them and trading them. I give her 100% full credit for that. I do agree with that comment. Also want to hit on from Raven 06001. Love you guys. Is it true that there may be more BB Takeover replacement twists coming up? Thanks. The only thing that we do know about is that a jury member will be coming back. Julie did state last night on the live show that if you leave the house, your game isn't over. So this is strictly saying that a jury member can come back into the game. So there will be a couple of jury members in the house. They'll play a competition and one of them wins a spot back in the house. As far as BB takeovers, CBS said that Julie Chen technically said that there's going to be takeovers every week with a new special guest or something like that. We haven't had one in a long time. So did they 86 the idea and bring us the BB sound off where fans can submit their videos and be on the show? Yes, it's a cool idea, but it's like we were kind of hoping for new twists every week. I know some people get annoyed with them, but I thought it was a great concept having a new twist every week.
Honestly, I think they wanted to try it out, and if America responded well to it, I think they rolled with it. But since America didn't respond that well with it, they just cut it off. It's the same with the BOB. They did not cut the BOB off so early last year. And for them to cut it off right when the twin comes in I didn't think that was going to happen. So I guess that's how that kind of rolls. America didn't really respond well to it. So that was why they took it. Jen said this afternoon, James, Meg, and Jackie were debating keeping Vanessa because Shelly will go after them in double eviction. I saw that right before we went live. I don't think that will happen because Becky, I think that they're just talking out loud and thinking thoughts. But I think once they sit down with Becky, then I think it'll be fine. It really depends on if one of the twins or Austin wins the POV and doesn't take anyone down, then Shelly will go over Steve. But if that's worst case scenario. So I'm not really sure how, I'm thinking that was just something they're thinking out loud. I wasn't watching. I don't know they're or anything like that, but I'm hoping and praying it was just something they were thinking out loud.
I also want to shout out to the Blythe, the 50. We see you in the comments. Don't think we're ignoring you. He said, at first I saw him say, I agree. Also think the twins are terrible, which I fucking agree. I do like Julia because she's the only one that has a fucking brain out of the both of them. And then he said, I think they were stupid to let them come in the house. 100%. The most idiotic thing. They should have taken Liz out when they had a chance and kept Jason. He said they should have evicted Liz as soon as they found out. But it was hard to do. I understand relationships were built there and they were all gung-ho to help to keep her because she's a number and all this stuff. But honestly, she's detrimental to your game. Why would you do that? I see the reasoning for the numbers and having an extra person.
Well, I mean, let's just face it. They've made some pretty stupid decisions in the past. So that explains everything to you. That explains why they're stupid. So yeah, that explains why they kept the twins. We're trying to hurry and get some comments because they're coming so fast. But Michelle Anderson said Becky couldn't have done what she has done so far without James making that move. If you're talking about James putting up Clelly, I wholeheartedly agree. She could not have been the first one to go after Clelly because it would not have been good. So I do agree there. Miriam said the twins are honestly the meanest people in the house. I agree. They are the first ones to say that Jackie, Meg, and Becky are being catty. They're the first ones to say that, and it's stupid. This is a fucking game for $500,000. No one is being catty. No one's evicting someone because they're prettier than the other person. Really, come on now.
It's some of their stuff that they talk about are really idiotic. John the BB Insider said, what do you guys think of house guests that re-enter the game? Do you think they deserve to win, or do you see them as already evicted as they don't deserve it? Thoughts? If we're looking at a jury member coming back into the game, taking it back to last year when Nicole entered, we really wanted her to stay in the game, but she got the boot again. It's honestly... It's going to be the same thing, I feel like. It's going to be, you are already evicted. If you come back into the house, you have a huge target on your back. 10 times bigger than anybody in the house. Now, if we look at it at a different level, say, like James, Jackie, Meg, and Becky, say, God forbid, that they lose one of them in the week. So say one of them comes back. It guarantees them another number on their side. And that could potentially work if they come into power. If it's the other side, the same situation goes at hand. It depends on who's in power that week. It's all going to depend on who's in power that week. I don't mind a jury member coming back in, but it's like, at this point, it's a known thing. We really didn't think a jury member was going to come back due to one of the twins coming in. We kind of thought, well, if one of the twins come in, a jury member's not coming back. And vice versa. But they've seemed to erase Jace from the game, and they've seemed to not have any recollection of him. So, hey, there's another week. Let's throw somebody the fuck back in. And just to touch on that Jace subject, I think it's kind of fucked up that CBS has erased Jace basically from the game. He's not on the memory wall. They had the halfway party. His fucking face wasn't even on the cake. Like, are you fucking kidding me? All because of a fucking reset? Yeah, he was in 1 week, but that's a contestant.
The reset has nothing to do with that. Because if they were erasing people who had to do with the reset, then they would have erased the first 5 people that were evicted before the reset.
They're going to use that as, if they want to use that as like a, oh, hey.
You can using that as their excuse? I haven't heard that.
And they try to use that as an excuse.
I don't think they would. I think they're completely ignoring anything that has to do with that situation.
It's just I just don't understand like why. I just don't.
Yeah, I honestly I feel bad for Jace because he played that game for 15 days and he played that shit hard.
Jace from the game, and they seem to
not
have any recollection of him. So thanks. Look at me being everywhere.
My video started playing. I'm like, where is this coming from?
Where's it coming from? I do want to hit on the double eviction this week. That's coming up. Becky's in power. Becky won't be able to play who wins HOH. That Becky won't be able to play in the next HOH. So whoever wins that HOH and then say if Becky's put up, she has to win Veto in order to ensure her safety. Just putting it out there would be great. It would be great if James, Jackie, Meg, Johnny Mac wins the HOH, keeps them safe, puts Austin and Liz or the twins on the block. Or no, I'm sorry, if Vanessa's gone this week, get Shelly the hell out.
Yeah.
I do think that would be best case scenario. If somebody wins Veto, it would be best case if their side wins Veto so they can keep the nominations the same. And then when HOH comes back in, one of them win again. I do think it's a best shot that if it's say if it's like an endurance, which I don't think it'll be all questions. We do have Jackie. Jackie's pretty good. And we do have Becky for the next round. Because Becky will be able
I want to touch on the comments really fast. Michelle says, I wonder if Jace did something against his contract. That's honestly the only reason I could see why he's not on the show. It makes absolutely no sense. He was at, I think it's Hearts of Reality with a lot of reality TV stars. He was there with Audrey and Jeff. And so I really have absolutely no idea why he's being cut out of absolutely everything.
I think it's going to be interesting. Rachel and I talked about this last night when the whole thing, we were like, yeah, it's kind of fucked up that Jace was erased. It's going to be interesting if he's not at the finale.
That would be interesting. Also, someone asked, is Omar Lanta planning to be on the show in the future? I heard him say that he would come on the show this year, next year, and any year after that. So if they invite him back, I'm sure he'll be on the first flight out to LA.
Yep.
And also Raven says that she's heard a rumor of potential seasons of First Evicted House Guest. Would that be a good or bad season of Big Brother? Honestly, there's a reason they got evicted first. I'll say that. I mean, there is a reason for it. So I wouldn't want to see it personally. I would rather see a season of all winners. But I mean, you're on the 17th season. They have to start coming up with new shit.
I definitely think it would be a terrible season. I mean, they might shock her if knows.
Okay. Thank you guys for commenting. You can continue commenting. We will get to some more. Oh, also, we almost forgot to mention, Clelly had their first official makeout.
Oh my god,
oh my god, all the Clelly fans freak out.
Oh my god, they totally shit. Oh my god, throw everything around, holy shit.
No, it was fucking annoying as fuck. I wanted to throw up in a goddamn
their slurps were ridiculous.
I literally thought they were drinking a big fucking gulp from 7-Eleven.
And I want to quickly touch on Vanessa. Vanessa kept mentioning that James was bullying Austin and the twins into voting for Shelly to go.
I'm gonna sit my
Oh my gosh. That was not the case at all. And when that whole fight happened, which we said we were gonna get to, so we're getting to it now. What had happened was Johnny Mac and James were talking in the comic book room. They were not discussing anything of any importance. Johnny Mac came out to Clay and said, look, I'm keeping you in this game because you're better for my game than Shelly being here. So Clay automatically assumed that came from James. Clay went to Vanessa and said, James said that, and Johnny Mac used the fact that Vanessa can manipulate Shelly. So Clay went to Vanessa and told Vanessa that James said that that Vanessa could manipulate Shelly. And Vanessa, the honest person she is, goes to James, and James is like, I swear on my little girl, I never said that. And so she then goes and confronts, or then James runs up and says to Clay, like, you know, I don't know how much time you got left in this house, but you better keep my name out your damn mouth. And Clay's like, fuck out of here. And then he looks at Meg and he's like, little man syndrome. But I'm not sure if James heard that or not. So after that happened, James walks out of the room, and James comes back in, and they get into more of a fight. And Clay gets up and gets in James' face and put his finger in James's face and was like, don't you ever come at me like that again. And it was completely like, it was crazy. That'll probably be on Sunday's episode, so be able to see everything. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. That, and of course, like, it all happens hours before the eviction, which is why everyone flipped to vote out Clay. So yeah, that was pretty much what happened in that.
I think that if Becky and Jackie and Meg flipped on James, highly mistaken. It was because this whole fight broke out, and it was just like, you know what? They all had to say, let's just get rid of Clay, because clearly he's pulling shit. So they didn't go against him. At the end of the day, they had to do what they had to do, and James understood and respected it because he wanted him to go as well. I think we should touch on...
I just want to read one more comment.
Go ahead.
80 Cat, I'm hoping that's how your name is supposed to say. She said, my 12-year-old cousin loves Chloe. Just goes to show who their fan base is. That, and I'm just using this as an example because you commented it. That is literally the exact reason why I see no Chloe fans in our mentions, because it is all 12-year-olds that probably don't even know how to fucking use Twitter, or probably don't even know like anything. Like, this is their fan base, and it's honestly, it's kind of ridiculous, but whatever. If it makes them happy, then it makes them happy. I don't really care.
Honestly, we all saw it last night. Clay couldn't even say he loved her.
Oh, don't even get me fucking started on that shit, because I went in on people on Twitter. People kept coming at me, bashing me because I kept saying this shit isn't love. You can't love someone after 40 days. Get the fuck out of here if you think that.
Bam.
If you believe that these two dirtbags are in love, then you are a fucking lunatic and you have fell underneath their spell, because you cannot love someone in 40 days. You cannot love someone who you met on a reality TV show in 40 days. You cannot love someone that is 10 years older than you that you met on a reality TV show. You haven't met their family. You haven't met their friends. You don't know where they live. You don't know nothing. They could be lying about themselves. Like, really? Like, these people are crazy if they fucking think they're in love. And the fact that Clay gave up a chance at $500,000 for her, I can't. I literally cannot deal.
And if there's counter arguments out there that, oh, look at Brenchel, look at Jordan and Jeff, look at Dominic and Danielle. If you guys don't really know, Brendan and Rachel's relationship was so rocky after Big Brother. They were separated for a while. They got back together. Yes, they're okay now, but still. Jeff and Jordan, they were on that reality marriage boot camp show. Their relationship is constantly rocky. And yes, even though they love each other, whatever, it's still rocky. It's just, it's a game. You gave it up. It's bullshit, honestly. Like, you could have did something other than win a POV. So we're not hating.
Yeah,
we're just...
I think both of them came on there to find some type of showmance, and they both found it. Michelle mentioned that they have a deal to share the money. I believe that, and I'm sure she would have shared the money if she won, or if she wins, I'm sure she'll share the money. But I honestly have absolutely no respect for Clay at all. You are telling people that you want to give up your game, and Steve said this to James. Or James said this to Steve. They were talking and it got said. There are so many superfans out there that want to be on this show. There are so many people that want to be on this fucking show. And this person comes on here who has known Big Brother for maybe 3 months and claims to be a super fan. Let's not forget that, people. Clay put in his bio or in his interviews that he was a super fan. Like, bitch, get the fuck out of here. Where do you really find these people?
Casting found him at a game. at a basketball game, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, at a Lakers game, which makes it even worse because that's my fucking team. Like, now every time I hear the Lakers, I'm going to associate it with fucking dirtbag over here.
Hashtag pray.
And the fact he played for Texas A&M doesn't help because I hate them too. So, I mean, everything that adds up to Clay, I fucking hate. So
let's hit on our next subject. We're going to go into our super fan of the week. Let me pull that up, and then we'll hit some more comments.
Oh yeah, while he's pulling up the super fan, backstab of the week is Shelly and Clay throwing Austin under the bus, under the engine, under the wheels, under a Mac train. Not to be Becky or anything, but there you have it. That's
right.
our backstab of the week.
We have our super fan of the week. It is Michelle at DJ. I want to say Missy or Mickey.
MICCI.
There you go. Much better job. This is our super fan of the week. And we've had some really interesting conversations with her this week. Hey, girl, we hope you're moved in all okay and that, you know, that person left last night. Actually, it's just so fun interacting with people. Just to let you guys know, the super fan of the week is found on the bbinsider.com. And you can find us at our Unfiltered Feedsters tab. We have all our spoilers and all that good stuff on here. And you can just, you know, learn a little bit about us, even though we're unfiltered as fuck. So, oh, look, webpage is loading. See, look, there we are, looking fucking good as shit.
Oh,
so,
is it pronounced Mickey? Michelle, I see you in the comments. Is it pronounced Mickey? If so, then there you have it.
And we just want to say, go follow her. She's really cool. Interact. Also, she says she has like what is
a DJ, a radio station.
A radio station. It's in her link in her bio.
Yeah, it's on her Twitter.
It's on her Twitter. Go follow her. Go check it out. She's so cool. And you guys have a chance too to become a super fan of the week. You know, we pick people that we see, like we talk to, that we see interacting and all that. We're big on interaction in this fan base, and this is what we want to bring to you guys. One more thing.
We also have our. Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. I was just going to introduce that, and we like are on the same wavelength. We
also have our funny highlight of the week, which is pretty hilarious. They found a praying mantis in the backyard, and it kind of attacked Johnny Mac.
It's pretty fucking funny. All right, here we go.
Eaten by a lady mantis.
That's what they do, right?
Yeah.
Ew, the lady mantis.
After they hook up, the lady mantis eats the dude.
That's like cannibalism.
No, that's for real.
Johnny Mac knows his shit.
Look at Johnny Mac.
Johnny Mac.
I don't know what to do with him. He's just looking.
Why don't you just eat him?
He's looking at you. Johnny Mac, oh my god, he's like
Look, he wants to
scared.
go in the mouth.
If he jumps in your fucking mouth, I would die. I know.
He's a dentist mantis.
I'm so a dentist mantis.
Woo! He's on me. He's on me. Where's he at? Where's he at?
He's on your shirt.
Where's he
Where
at?
is it? Where is it? You're back.
I don't want to hurt him.
Oh, he's on
Oh, he's striking you.
No, he's right here.
You murderer!
Yeah. He's
That
okay.
thing was like.
That was so freaking funny. I was watching that when it happened live, and I was like dying on the inside for Johnny Mac.
Just to let you guys know, he did not murder it. It is very well alive.
Yes, we honestly have no idea what happened to it. We haven't heard anything. It probably got let out whenever they put in the HOH combo.
Yeah.
Whenever they put in the HOH comp, probably got let out.
One thing I want to point out about that video, when he jumps on Johnny's Mac back, you just see him going like that. Like, bitch, you try to eat me. Like, I'm a fucking sucker punch the shit out of you.
Right. That's the best part. But we also want to mention that this week we have done something new. We opened up a chat room on the live feeds, and we're under Unfiltered Feeds. So you can follow us there and chat with us. We'll try to respond. If crazy shit's happening on the feeds, we'll obviously might be a little late responding. But you can find us there. You can chat with us there. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Instagram. You can also find us on Facebook. So those are our @ names are down here. I can't see myself. I have a page pulled up, but it's somewhere down here. can find us there. Go follow us.
Guys, we opened the chat up last night. It's really fun. We got to talk to some people. You know, we're really appreciating all the support that we're getting. Like this week alone, we've just gotten so much crazy support, and we can't thank you guys enough. It's been a hell of a week in the Big Brother house. Just so great that we have a power shift and we're able to like breathe. And we just want to say again, thank you to all of our fans. You guys.
Hold on, someone commented and said where. I'm not sure if you're asking where to find us. You can find us at Unfiltered Feeds on Twitter and Instagram, and in the chat room on the live feeds, you can go to rooms and then go to public, and we should be at the bottom, but it'll say Unfiltered Feeds. So that's where you can find us. If you can't find us, tweet us, and we will try to help you find us.
We'll put like a video up or something if a lot of people are having problems trying to get there. Like Rachel said, you can find us at Unfiltered Feeds on Twitter. All of our social media links are down below. At the end of this video or during this video, you'll find them down there. Go follow us everywhere. Don't forget to subscribe. And we just are so excited that everybody's having so much fun, you know, talking back and forth with us. We love talking to you guys. Don't ever feel like your opinion doesn't matter. Your opinion does matter. The only thing that like we have a problem with is when we're talking to people and then they just start coming at our neck, start calling us a-holes and whatever. Like, that's not cool. We truly 100% enjoy talking with you guys. We can't thank you enough for all the support. And
don't forget, we are unfiltered. We do come back at people. That's the mistake a lot of people make. They comment on our shit and think that we're not going to come back at them. That's not how we roll.
No, you're sadly mistaken, because we'll blow your shit out of the fucking water. Point blank and the period.
Exactly. So follow us there. We're going to go watch the live feeds and have a little fun. So come talk to us on the chat. Talk to us on Twitter. Let us know what's popping. Go like the Instagram pictures.
Yes. Go follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Subscribe here. Everything. We really do. We really thank you guys a lot. Like, we just can't really this week alone, and Rachel, I was telling Rachel about it, she was telling me, we just felt so much support this week from people. It's just been absolutely amazing. So thank you guys. To sign off, we've been the Unfiltered Feedsters, and don't you fucking forget it. I'm your co-host, Nick.
And I'm your co-host, Rachel.
Thank you guys again, and don't forget to subscribe and everything, and we'll see you, all right? We'll see you next Friday for another live show. See you soon, guys. Bye.